Good day, you all. Joseph Karashi here of the Sumi Podcast. Now let's get into it.
Boxing, the sport drama segment of Brought Upon Yourself series. A story of a high-profile fighting champion who has won many of the matches worldwide. Many have been undefeatable, one says, but mentally blinded by pride that the promising career has come to an end from an accident by injury. Even crippled former champ have continued, but only to supervise training, while enduring hardships made most of the disciples quit. Very few, however, remains there who took pity right before forming friendship in order to accept and adapt to a new life after combat skills. To film the fight scene for match and training will require a boxing gym to book, whether indoor or outdoor, as long as certain types of equipment are in place for the setting, plus stunt work to rehearse. For budgeting reasons, designing an arena takes amount of larger space with many spectators in addition is much of a challenge. So shooting at the gym or training related studio is not too big but not too small, with enough number of casting crew will make the storyline more efficient. It will take place in the same venue, but with fewer changes of display, as if it were from time to time in combat to every opponent in the montage scene. Unknown should I include B-roll scenes, since I may prefer the whereabouts unknown to focus more on the story and characters. The concepts on boxing motifs are referenced from such films as Rocky, released in 1976. This classic famous training montage is what I have in mind in editing the sequence. And the 2004 film Million Dollar Baby involves a veteran trainer and trainee relationship as a relatable plot. Early this year, I joined a Muay Thai class taught by certified instructor Ahmed Abdul Jawad of the AA Thai Boxing, and still continue as my pleasure. Works to my advantage by attending and mastering that technique I learned. Helps to develop my concepts for future projects. As similar to my final semester project, taking actions in my research instead of over-relying on word source for both physical and mental gives advantage in storytelling. My real experience, hence my story. Regardless of the casting a role as a depressed former boxing champ, any gender, race, ethnicity, as long as the age range mid-20s to early 40s with physical fit, and one will portray a sympathetic and aspiring fighting disciple at an age between early 20s to early 30s. Also in any gender and race with energetic and physical fit. Inexperienced athletic skills is a plus without a doubt. In addition to those, real-life trainees are welcome to join their roles as extras if interested. How will this look and feel artistic from my story? As I have seen and learned more of Muay Thai movements, it reminds me of watching a dance-off program, only this in fight style. Because of my appreciation of the multicultures I encountered, gives me inspiration in setting up the gym in Thai style to make it more fitting. If not, then anything else similar and simple will suffice as long as the plot matters most. And for the more artistic practical effect in place during shooting, amount of powder on the punching bag for punch, kick to spread it as if the place is dusted. For my thoughts, surrounding with many candles or old lanterns while the fighter performs the technique to appear elegant. Of course, fake blood is expected to make fight scenes real enough from inspired classic boxing movies. This will obviously be filmed in Saudi Arabia, assuming Arabic as a default language. Honestly, I haven't thought of a choice of language for this film or series itself, but the boxing short film that I will focus on has very limited use of dialogue. But once finalizing the script, I will consider two versions in the same film, English and Arabic. For example, in the same take for one language and retake in another. It must come from the same actors instead of dubbing by someone else, even in post-production. As I mentioned before about seeing and feeling real, this includes the cast's own voice as genuine. And besides, there's no telling for future film festivals around the nation whether or not to use native language to accept submission. Not to mention, my English is more proficient than Arabic. Basically, it's going to set a sad tone utilizing a tragic plot, but light-hearted enough with abundance scene. If I haven't found that boxing class in Jeddah, the use of choreography in boxing, and I mean literally, only punches as a simple solution. I always have a taste of action over drama when it comes to cinematography, but I can still understand the feelings to perfect the story to direct. No pain, no gain. Really keen to start shooting the closer getting cast and crew to prepare. Thanks for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Remember to hit like, subscribe for future content. Cheers!